I don't know what tickle fights in the
Let me show you something.
You're going to show me tickle fights?
I'm going to show you a lot more than tickle fights. You can't, I don't, that's a crossing the line
Harry,
ceremony.
can you get this?
That's a crossing the line ceremony in 1983. If you were to take this out of context today.
I don't know if you can show that. You really, you know. Yeah.
But if you, can you imagine transporting back to this today? It looks like an orgy in Caligula.
All right.
And anybody who's been in the Navy knows it. And I am at fault. I own it. I'm not, nobody forced me out. I made the decision.
Did you ever touch anybody sexually or grope anybody sexually?
No.
Okay.
No. And there's a big difference.
There's a huge difference. And
but when you take things out of context in Washington, D.C., this is what the whole crux of this conversation is about. See, everybody loves an independent member of Congress until you are one. And the minute you step out of the mold, then the whip starts cracking. And those aren't my words. I was listening to it on this TV station today. And we'll talk about the particulars. I got myself between a rock and a hard spot. And all of a sudden, I mean, think about this. Within 15 minutes of me deciding to leave, Politico published a full story on this, complete with anonymous sources and timelines that obviously had been in development for goodness only knows how long. Who knows where they... Don't you find that kind of odd?
No, I don't.
Well, I do.
I mean, the reason... No, I don't, because I have 2 unauthorized biographies coming out about me in this spring.
No,
and
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
By the way,
I understand smear tactics.
Okay.
I get smear tactics. And that's why I want you to say, because look, as I said to Rod Blagojevich, if you can look at the American people and say, look, I did nothing wrong, I did nothing sexual, I did nothing criminal.
I did nothing sexual. I did things that were wrong. I should not have allowed myself to be that familiar with my staff.
Okay. And you did nothing criminal?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you if you say that and then it comes out and, you know, whisper campaigns are whisper campaigns, but if it comes out, you're one of the most evil bastards I've ever met. If you can say that and look at somebody in the eye and...
So be it.
Okay.
At this point, people will be told to say anything about me.
How does that work exactly? What do you mean by that?
Well, come on. Let's be blunt. I voted against... By the way, we actually agree on some things, and I have hundreds of friends who in the past 48 hours think I'm Beelzebub, think I'm the devil, because I'm coming on this show.
Oh, I know that.
I mean...
Oh, I have several friends who think I'm the devil for having you on.
And by the way, I don't view you... This is where I'm different. I don't view you as my enemy. I view you as a political opponent on some issues. By the way, not all. If you look at my voting record, you find... I mean, they actually said I was the most centrist member of Congress. I voted against cap... Oh, yes.
Well, I mean...
I voted
I've
against
seen Congress lately. That actually may be true, but...
Well, I voted against cap and trade. I voted against the financial services restructuring bill.
Yeah, but you're also... I mean, you're...
And yes, we do disagree. I happen to believe that health care is an imminent crisis. It is. But I also believe that what we're about to do will make it worse.
But you want a... when you're standing against health care, it's because you want a single-payer program.
In my vision of what would be perfect, yes. We're never going to get there. You and I can debate this for eons. But by the way, here's a solution to that agreement. What's the common ground? In healthcare, the biggest imperative is fix those who cannot get insurance without changing the world for everyone else. So let us buy into Medicare. I mean, there's common ground here. But that's not what this is about. Okay. I get it. You're holding up your hand.
Makes blood shoot out of my eyes. Okay. So let's go back to the question on why are you don't want to fight. You don't want to stand and fight.
No.
So why are you here? Out of all the shows you could pick, why would you pick this one? Why are you here?
I want the toughest, most unforgiving interviewer possible.
That would be Bill O'Reilly.
He didn't call me.
He'd put you in a meat grinder.
Okay.
Okay.
This ain't exactly a Dunkin' Donut fest.
Well, no, I appreciate that. We haven't even gotten started. Let me tell me your story on Rahm Emanuel. and the whole naked in showers.
I will. By the way, I'm not the only one. Can we talk timeline just for a second?
Sure.
So everyone says I'm changing my story. 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. That's a medical fact.
Okay, hang on. Before you show this, play the Robert Gibbs audio here of what he said. Here it is.
Where do we look?
Well, look, I think this whole story is ridiculous. I think the latest excuse is silly and ridiculous. George, let's go through what we've heard from Congressman Massa. Last week, he, on Wednesday, was having a recurrence of cancer. On Thursday, he was guilty of using salty language. On Friday, we learned he's before the Ethics Committee to be investigated on charges of sexual harassment. So, look, I think clearly his actions appear to be in the appropriate venue in the Ethics Committee to look at.
So that's exactly how they set it up. Mr. Gibbs, this is an x-ray. That's me. I don't know if you can see it. That's a tumor. It goes across my liver, up through my lungs, all the way around my heart. And when they were done trying to cut it out, nuke it out with radiation and chemotherapy, it left so much scar tissue that when I walk outside now in the cold weather and take a deep breath, it feels like someone's stabbing me. I had a heck of a cancer scare in December. They took a bunch of CAT scans. They don't know whether it's scar tissue or reoccurring tumors. My wife has been after me since day one, not only not to run for Congress, but not to stay in Congress, as have my doctors. Because it's literally, for me, it's a 120-hour work week. And they want to dismiss this? Okay, great. But the reality is, I didn't know anything. Nobody from the Ethics Committee talked to me, not even yet. Not a word, not one. Everything I know about it, I've learned from Mr. Gibbs and from the internet.
How long have they been investigating?
I don't know. I don't know that. I took a trip to California about 2 weeks ago. How does this work? It's a star chamber, and it's all supposed to be very confidential and never released to the public. That way they have these incredible powers to investigate, and the trade-off is it's kept secret. But they didn't even follow the procedures of secrecy because they started leaking things here and there. And that's how this works. It's the old one. It's the Potomac two-step.
All right. We're going to take a break and
okay.
Come back. I want you to start at the beginning of when your troubles began with the White House. And I want to go back. I want you to
that far back. That goes back about 4 years.
Hang on. I want you to keep in mind one thing. I made a promise on the first day of this show that I would not waste the time. My time is valuable, but my viewers, they don't have. I have to be here till 6.
So take me where you want.
They don't.
Take me where you want.
This is where I want you to go.
Okay.
You tell me something that I don't know about corruption, and you tell me what's going on.
You want to wait till after the break or start now?
I want you to wait until after the break, and you tell me, you show me, how does this system work? What does the American people, what do they need to know?
Okay.
Okay? Back in just a second. These are the questions that I want to ask yourself while you're listening to the rest of this hour. Is there anything new? Anything new that you're hearing today? Do you believe what he's saying about corruption, and does it affect you? Last question is, do you believe what he says about himself, and does it affect you? We're back with former congressman from New York State, Eric Massa. Let me just, I have to start here. This is from Roll Call. When was this? Sunday, March 5th, right?
All right.
March 5th. Eric Massa's sudden decision to resign from Congress is a silver lining for Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It means she'll have to find one last vote for health care, yada, yada, yada. You say that you were leaving because of the cancer scare. Then...
No, I decided not to run again.
You were going to run again.
That's right. And then all this blew up, and I held myself accountable and resigned. Two different things. One happened before the other. But that, as soon as I read that article, people doing the math are a lot smarter than me. And when I heard people say that we're going to pass this health care bill no matter what, it makes no difference. That was on the TV today. My vote has been a consistent no against this health care vote. Consistently.
Okay, Okay, I want to get into some of the other stuff, but
okay.
I have to tell you, in my wildest dreams, your honor is at stake. I can't buy the fact that over tickle fights, you would
No,
step back.
It's not tickle fights. It was inappropriate language. It was the fact that somebody.
Have you watched HBO? Have you ever watched The Sopranos?
But that's not the standard that we're supposed to hold up in Congress.
Have you met Charlie Rangel?
Yeah, I've met Charlie Rangel. But
how about that standard?
That's him, not me. I can't talk to that.
All right. So
by the way, I don't have $500,000 to subject my family to this and buy lawyers. I don't have that. I want to do this interview, one more, and then go away. I don't want to change the world. I'm not campaigning for re-election. I'm not.
So then, what is your motive for being on here? Because I said to you yesterday, you said everything
has been taken from me.
Taken from me.
Everything.
And I said, then you have nothing to lose.
That's
then
correct.
you can make a real impact. If you don't want to change the world, why are you here?
Because it's important for me, in a logical conversation and not sound bites, to tell my story. And then I'm done.